So here we are. The goal of this mission is to make the Druids arise. Like the title implies. Please excuse the rhyme. This time. Ow! Okay, I'm sorry. First of all, send all your men north, including the Protectors and your Tree of Ages. Make your Tree of Ages root at that gold mine. There's not much gold in this mission, so you're going to have to be moving your Wisps and your Tree of Ages around a lot. Root your 2 Ancients here, because you want to start producing units basically straight away. And send, because you want to get at this Fountain of Health that's right here. Use your dude to summon some Treants. Treants are pretty cool. It's probably the upgrade you want to get when he levels up later in this mission. Along with her True Shot Aura. Now, as soon as your gold mine's been entangled, you want to start the Wisp mining straight away. The trick in this mission is, like the last one, is to not dawdle. See, if you stand around, you know, waiting to get all the money and then moving your base slowly, you'll just get more attacks. You don't want that. You want to get into the human base and destroy it as soon as possible. And to do that, you'll want to ignore the secondary mission for now and just focus on getting into the human base, because as soon as you're in the human base you won't get any more attacks from the orcs. You just have to deal with undead, and they only send a few gargoyles at you at a time, which isn't too hard to deal with. Now at this point you should have started building some dryads and catapults. If ever you have any of your units being attacked or been damaged, pull them out of the battle, and if they get even into the yellow, make sure to send them to the healing fountain. And once you head past the defiled Fountain of Health, you should be given a few more huntresses as well. Add to the ones you should have already started building. Basically, just fill up your food meter till it hits 40. But make sure you've got 2 ballistas, at least 2 anyway. Just because you'll want to be taking out the towers, which are on a elevated plane, which you can't actually get to. Also, don't forget that if your base is attacked by gargoyles, that you can uproot your ancients and make them eat trees for 500 hit points. Especially useful considering Protectors only have 550 anyway. Anytime that your Wisps aren't in a gold mine, you want to have them on a tree. By this point you should have at least started attacking the other troll base that's protecting the other gold mines. And while you're rooting your second base, or your second gold mine at least, you want to start with, you know, poking at the humans' defences. Just attacking their towers will generally drop all of their units, which can be good because you can draw them out into the open, you can take out the units, and then head into the base. Careful of the Paladin though, because he does have level 2 invincibility, which, well, as we know, can be a bit annoying. Though if you find your base being attacked by orcs like I did, then it's probably best if you pulled your forces back, rescued your base, and then continue with the attack. Don't worry if you lose a Protector or 2, you won't really need them as soon as you get into the human base. As soon as you do get to the gates of the human base, you'll want to be taking out the cannon tower first, because that's probably the thing that will do the most damage against your units. And then focusing on the barracks and the altar of heroes, just to stop them building another paladin. Now, if your Tree of Ages gets attacked again, by this point, don't really worry about it. Don't forget to send your ancients across to the human base to help the attack. Send your Tree of Ages there too, and set your Wisp to follow them. With any luck, like mine, if you do get attacked by then, your Protector should be able to take out about 3 to 4 gargoyles without, you know, having too much trouble. And then once they're dead, you can just root him, make him eat a tree, and then walk and join you. Also, while you're attacking the human base, don't worry about losses too much. We can rebuild those with the money we've got. It's no problem. And once you've taken the human base, that'll be the first part of the mission over. The next part can be a bit tricky, but hey, that's what I make these guides for. Anyway, you'll get a few more units. Try and make sure you've still got less than 40 and you don't go over your upkeep. Now what you want to do is this forest here, there's another optional quest where you kill a Death Revenant to clear this of all the undead that are here. You know, lift the curse. I've noticed that this forest has an unlimited amount of respawning enemies, which is potentially an unlimited source of gold. But the amount of enemies that spawn is proportional to the amount of units you send in. So if I was to send in 7 dryads and 7 huntresses and 7 archers and your heroes, they would spawn wolves and ghosts and poison treants, everything. So the trick here is to send only your heroes and send only a few units at a time. Because once your heroes are down at the trek point, or the waypoint which I want you to go to, you can send in your normal units a few at a time, or in lines, to deal with the Death Revenant. And once the Death Revenant is dead, this part will be clear, and you'll be free to send your army to the enemy Night Elf base. And while you're working your way to the island with your heroes, make sure to start building more dryads and huntresses, maybe a few archers if you need them. Say once you get onto the island, and then just start bringing down, just rush all your huntresses and dryads to that little island. Don't worry if you lose a few because of the respawning enemies. You won't miss them when it comes to fighting the Revenant. When you do get to the little area where the Revenant and all his minions are, just send in a few treants first to soften up the wolves and the ghosts. When the weaker units are softened up, send the rest of the units in and just mass attack the Revenant. Once he's dead, the area will be cleared, trees will regrow, you'll be free to go up and re-heal your units. Get ready to attack the base. And once you built yourself a sizable army and headed up that little path, you'll find that the Night Elf base that you were heading for has been overrun. Sorry, I should have mentioned spoiler alert earlier. In any case, you should build yourself a sizable army. I've got like 7 to 8 of most of the units, plus 4 ballistas. Just rush them in, really, and make sure your ballistas focus on any protectors, ancient protectors that they've got. You can't really lose with this amount of people. If you know me, you know my strategies, and by now that just means building a fuck ton of units and rushing them in. Who cares about strategy? Oh, hey, look at the minimap. It's sort of like my base is giving the fuck you to this map. In any case, this mission, a little bit annoying and a little bit long-winded in places. Not too difficult. Once you've destroyed enough buildings, you'll get the prompt to send your guys or your heroes to the Ancient of Wind up there, which will end the mission.
Shall be done.
If you take out those trolls via the Fountain of Health, you'll find the big one drops a bringing protection +2. There's also a Tome of Strength in that crate behind that building. And once you've cleared the Cursed Forest, you can find this little group of trees, which if you knock down, best use the Treant ability of Furion. You'll find a Stormworm and a few little lightning lizards. Kill the lizards and the Stormworm, and the big one will drop a Sobi mask.
So be it.
You can also deal with the first optional quest by heading to this area and killing all of the furbolgs. None of them are really that hard to kill, except the last one. Mostly because he's surrounded by 2 shamans, and he's also got the regenerate ability, which can be a bitch to deal with. But you can take him out with just your heroes and treants. You should be fine. And for your efforts, you're rewarded with the Claws of Attack +6. A very useful item.